All right, so we should have recording in progress and start sharing the screen. Okay, so we're here. I will do some review questions. And if you have other review questions, you can certainly bring them up. And tomorrow's our first test. Okay, so let me talk more about the test. I'll be repeating myself. That's by design. So many of you have heard this say, you already said that twice or 3 times. That's correct. I intentionally do a lot of repetition. And some students don't get it the first time, or a student was sick or didn't watch the video, didn't quite catch it. So I repeat myself several times. It's almost as if to say, you don't have any reason for you not to know what's going on. So tomorrow's our first test, and you really should not have any excuse. I didn't know when's the test. I said it every day the last couple of days, right? It was on the syllabus. I've shown this entire calendar, you right, ever since day 1. Okay, what is it covering? Everything here with the changes here. I said before. So you turn this homework in. You may turn in the homework right after class today. I'll take the homework as soon as the day before ends. I'll be willing to take the homework. Okay, but if not, I'll take it up to half an hour after the test, and I'll talk more about that too. Okay, so you have that. You can have one formula sheet, so one cheat sheet, front and back. Put in anything you want. Put formulas, sample questions. That's going to be allowed. Other quick side note: the next test will come pretty quickly. It's already 9:17. It's a pretty short chapter. It's only what 2.2, 3, 4, and 5. So that will come pretty quickly. And quick reminder: Monday's a holiday for Labor Day. No class on Monday. I should even be more specific: no school on Monday. So no other classes, of course. It's a national holiday. Okay, so you can have a cheat sheet and you can have a calculator, but after that, nothing else. So no books, no other books, no notes, no people, no computers, no internet, but just your one formula sheet and a calculator. Okay, you must submit at least 70% of the homework in order for me to grade your test. That should not be that hard, since I do a great percentage in class anyway, right? I mean, sometimes I do what, 30%, 40%, half the homework. So to do 70% is really not that hard. Okay, and the format for submission is the same as the quizzes, now that you've already done a couple of quizzes. So I wanted you to have some quizzes under your belt. So now that you've done that, everything's the same. So you say, how do I submit the homework? Same thing, just click, 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 submit the homework. However, for the homework, I noticed that the file might be too big, because there's so much homework. So you might have to break it down into pieces, like maybe one separate email for 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, another one for 1, 6, 7, and 8. Or some students even sent in one section at a time. So separately 1.2 and another one from 1.3 and another one from 1. That's fine, any way that you want to do it, because I know some students have told me before, if I try to send everything in one email or one file, it's too big. So break it down. That's okay. And you submit the exam the exact same way. How many questions? I usually give about 10 questions for the test. So officially we have 50 minutes, 9, 10 to 10, 50 minutes, 10 questions. That comes out to an average of 5 minutes a question, right? The questions are very similar to homework. I don't give any trick questions. I don't give any surprise questions. Okay. Word problems are fair game, but they're not all word problems, but maybe 1 or 2 word problems. Okay. And again, this is the one time tomorrow where you definitely have to show up on the Zoom call. I know some of you, day by day, you come to the synchronous 9, 10 to 10. Others of you just don't bother and watch the video later. I said you can do that except for test days. So every test, that's when you have to show up. So you need to show up from 9, 10 to 10. Okay. And the only days that that happens are test days. So 9, 3, 9, 17, what, 10, 8, what, 11, 5, 11, 19, and 12, 9, and the final exam on 12, 13. Those are the only times that you have to show up. So I'll take attendance from the Zoom call. So don't think, oh, I'll just do it at home and he's not looking, I'll just submit my test. No, how do I know, that you didn't get some help for that? So I'll I'm not going to call the row, I'll take row, I'll just look at the participant list, as you know. Okay, and tomorrow for the test, you must have your camera on. I need to see who you are, obviously. The true background, right? So don't have behind you like Golden Gate Bridge or outer space or something like that, right? Because if you do, you could have somebody right behind you giving you answers, obviously, and I don't want that. And yeah, show me your ID if you haven't already done so. So I don't grade your exam if you don't give me at least 70% of the homework. You must turn in at least 70%. And I don't grade your exam unless you give me your ID. All I need is your name and your ID. You can, block out, all the other stuff, your address, your age, your, date of birth, height, weight, or whatever else is on there. I just need your name and your picture because, again, for a class like this, I don't get to know what you look like. Now, if we met face-to-face, we'd meet, Monday through Friday. Okay, I see you every day. I know what you look like. I don't get a chance to do that here. So that's the only way that I can check what you look like during the test. Okay, so when you join the Zoom session, see, have your camera on, first and last name, just as on my roll sheet. Don't just give me your first name. Don't just give me your last name. Don't make it harder on me. Just like on your roll sheet, don't put something like, math whiz or whatever. I don't know who you are. First and last name, just as on my roll sheet. Keep yourself muted. If you have a question during the exam, put it in the chat. By the way, if you finish early, you can leave early. If you need to step out to get a drink of water, go to the restroom, that's fine. Just let me know that you don't just all of a sudden disappear. Say, hey, she left, so what's going on? Is she getting some answers from a friend or something like that, right? Okay, so if you have to step out, fine, just let me know in the chat. Okay, so you may finish early and show all your work, okay? In general, do as much work as we did in class. Okay, so I don't accept it if you just give me an answer. Well, some answers are short, just yes or no, but there weren't that many of those. But give me an explanation. I guess one way of saying it is when in doubt, show me more work rather than less work. But of course, make sure you have enough time to do all the problems. So in other words, it's possible to get more points with an incorrect answer than for a correct answer. If you give me a correct answer, but you don't show many steps or your work doesn't justify your answer, you may not get as many points as somebody who says, oh yeah, I see your work. You did this correct, this, oh, you just made a small arithmetic mistake here. I'm more willing to give you more points perhaps for that. So I do give partial credit. So it's definitely to your advantage to show me all your steps. And if your logic is good, you made an arithmetic mistake, that's fine. I can easily make an arithmetic mistake also. And so I want to see, do you know how to do the material? Okay. So that's that. Then class is over at 10 o'clock, right? So at 10 o'clock, I'll close the Zoom session. Then I'll give you 5 minutes to click, 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 or if you have a scanner, scan it, and then email me your answers. And then you have until half an hour after 10, so 10:30 to submit the homework. But again, if you want to submit the homework early, get it over with, that's fine. So once class is over today or tonight or early tomorrow morning, you want to just submit the homework, get it over with, that's fine. I'm trying to go by what's the equivalent if we met face-to-face. If we met face-to-face, then at 10 o'clock, I would say, okay, everybody turn in your test, right? Well, you can't just turn in a test. So that's why I give you 5 minutes to, click, 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 and that's what that's about. Then also, if we met face-to-face, I would say, okay, turn in your homework at 10 o'clock. But again, you can't do that easily. But then the homework might be kind of big. Right? There's like 15, 20 pages, whatever. So that's why I'm giving you more time to click, click, and all that stuff. So that's why I'm giving you half an hour, so 10:30 to submit the homework for the exam. Okay. I might as well just check this off because I'm finished with that. Okay, so look at my to-do list. Submit the homework. Okay, so we finish at 10 o'clock. So I'll submit the exam on Canvas announcements a little bit after 9, maybe 9:02, 9:03. Once you get it, come join the Zoom and get started right away. If you finish early, you can leave. So you talked about ID, talked about the true background, show your camera, show the video, keep yourself muted. And let's see, show all your work. You may have a formula sheet. Okay, so that's that. Any general questions about how the test runs before I do review problems? I think I've covered everything, but just in case. Anybody else with something here? Okay, so I'll start with,
Wait, did you say, you said to put our name on top, right?
put your names on the test. Yeah, that helps. Although I'm probably going to get it when you submit your email, but
Yeah,
it certainly
okay.
helps if you have your name on it. Then I don't have to guess who you are. Okay, I did get a request to go back and show the homework from 1.6 because it may not have shown up in the video. So I'm going to quickly do that. So the 1.6 homework pages. So that's you quickly here. And so that's up to half of 3. A bit more. Again, remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video, right? Pause, rewind, fast forward as much as you want. Okay, down on page 51. That. And that's up to about 26. And it's up to about 30-ish. And that's the rest of that. Page 52. (52, 53). Bottom. Okay, then the next page, 53. That shows you up until about 62 or so. So there's that. So 66 in there. And there's the bottom. Hopefully. All right. And then last page, page 54. Okay, that's up to 68. So 69-ish. So 3. And the bottom. Okay, so I think that takes care of that. So that's the 1.6 homework. And a reminder, I changed the homework a little bit. Show that to you again. Okay, so make these notes. Okay, so first let me go back and do my own review, because some people asked for these, but I'm willing to take more questions after that. And then if the questions stop, then we'll just call it a day. And yeah, a quick reminder, we're having the next test real quickly. Monday's a holiday for Labor Day. Test 2 is already Friday the 17th. I know it's fast, but it doesn't cover that much material. What do we have? 2.2, 3, 4, and 5. And remember, there is no section 1. There was no 1.1. There's no 2.1. There's no 3.1, right? It was just that introductory paragraph thing, but no homework problems. All right, so. Okay, let's see, problem 45. Of 1.8. Get that to you. Again, I'm making the assignment just A and B. Skip everything after that. A driver travels on an interstate highway, blah, 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 blah. Velocity is negative 4t squared minus 4t plus 80. So only A and B. Make a sketch. How long does it take for the car to come to rest? Well, I know it's a parabola which opens down. And t is greater than or equal to 0. So I just make myself a quick table. Plug in 0, you get 80. Plugged in 1, negative 4 minus 4 plus 80 is 72. Plug in 2, I guess you can take my word for it, it comes out to be 56. I just put a 2 there and a 2 there and grind it out. Okay, so, but I already know it's a parabola opening down. So very roughly, it looks something like that. And then part B says something like what? Come to rest. Rest means velocity is 0. Right? So I set V equal to 0. Rest means velocity 0. So I have to set the velocity function equal to 0. 0 equals negative 4t squared minus 4t plus 80. It's a quadratic equation. You can use a quadratic formula, but this one's factorable. Factor out a negative 4, t squared plus t minus 20. And this factors into t minus 4t plus 5. So if something times something times something equals 0, one of these somethings has to equal 0. Well, negative 4 can't equal 0. T minus 4 equals 0 means t is 4. T plus 5 equals 0 means t equals negative 5, but that's impossible because we said t is greater than or equal 0. So the only answer is t equals 4 seconds. Okay, now for my quickie review of other stuff. There's a question about 1.257. Solve 1 over x is less than or equal to 5. And yeah, we know that x cannot be 0. Okay, the right-hand side is supposed to be 0. So I subtract 5 on both sides. 1 over x minus 5 over 1. Common denominator is x, so multiply by x over x. 1 minus 5x over x is less than or equal to 0. All right, so my boundary numbers are whatever makes the numerator or the denominator 0. So what makes the numerator 0? 1 minus 5x equals 0. A little bit of algebra, I trust you can do that. X equals 1/5, right? You can add 5x and divide by 5. Okay, so for you guys, I'm willing to jump from here to here and trust you know what to do. Now, if you were in my Algebra 1 class, I would not go that fast, but we're in pre-calc. You've had, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and maybe even more beyond that. So I trust you know how to go from there to there. Okay, so x equals 1/5 is a boundary, and x equals 0 is a boundary. We already know. Okay, so 0 and 1/5. 0 will give me a 0 in the denominator, so that stays open. But 1/5 is closed. I do get a true statement if I plug in 1/5. 5 times 1/5 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 divided by that is 0. It would say 0 is less than or equal to 0. And then I did a sign chart. Something over here is -1. Something in the middle. Okay, well, I changed to a decimal. I know 1/5 is 0.2. So 0.1 is in the middle. And then +1. Okay, so I plugged in here. So -1. 1 minus 5 times -1, that's a positive. -1 is a negative. Positive divided by negative is a negative. Is a negative less than or equal to 0? That's true. Shade that region. 0.1. 1 minus 5 times 0.1, that's 1 minus 0.5, that's positive. 0.1 is positive. Positive divided by positive is positive. Is a positive less than or equal to 0? No, that's false. Don't shade in this region. And region 3, 1. 1 minus 5, negative. 1, positive. Negative divided by positive is negative. Negative less than or equal to 0, true. Shade that region in. So parenthesis, negative infinity, comma 0, parenthesis, union, bracket. I'm including the 1/5, but I'm not counting 0. 1/5, comma infinity. And remember, negative infinity and positive infinity always have parentheses. Negative infinity is always on the left. Positive infinity is always on the right. Okay, and then a setup for 59. I wasn't going to do the whole thing, but a setup for a similar problem. It's a little bit hard. 2 over x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 3 over x minus 2. So again, the name of the game is to put 0 on one side. So I would subtract on both sides. And the way I did this, I made that a plus and put a -3 on top. It actually makes it easier to distribute. Okay, so I subtracted 3 over x plus 2, but I'm writing it in the form of plus a -3. Sorry if you can't read that. That's a negative. There. Whoops. So 2 over x minus 1 plus a -3 over x plus 2. And then I need a common denominator. So multiply this side by x plus 2 over x plus 2. Multiply this side by x minus 1 over x minus 1. So my common denominator is x plus 2, x minus 1. Distribute 2x plus 4. And that's the reason why I decided to go plus minus, so that way you remember to distribute negative 3x plus 3. And the numerator comes out to be 7 minus x. So that's what I have over here. So 7 minus x over x plus 2, x minus 1, greater than or equal to 0. I'll just say etc. You don't get to say etc. I get to say etc. because I want to save you some time for other questions. But if there's no other questions, I don't mind finishing this. But what are my boundary numbers? My boundary numbers are whatever makes the top or the bottom 0. So what makes the top 0 is 7. What makes the bottom 0 is negative 2 or positive 1. So yeah. Okay, so I'll abandon the problem in case we have more problems to do, but if nobody else has any question, I don't mind going back and finishing this. Okay, there was a question about a problem 77. I think we did that before, but let's look at that again. 1.277, remember this one? Page 13. You were contemplating, by the way, you say, what's contemplating? Thinking about. I know some of you maybe never heard of the word contemplating, thinking about investing $50,000 between two different investments. One returns 5%, the other 9%. You need a return of at least 7.5%. What is the maximum amount of the money you can invest at the 5% rate? So you're looking for amount at the 5%. So that's what I call X. 5%, 9%. You want at least 7.5% in return. So let X be the amount at 5%. Okay. Then this algebra trick, you might recall, if two numbers add up to 50,000 and one of them is X, the other is 50,000 minus X. That's the amount at 9%. It's a lot easier if we think of numbers. Okay. If I just play this game, say two numbers add up to 50,000. So one of them's 10,000. What's the other one? 40,000. How about one is 20,000? What's the other? 30,000. Well, one of the numbers is 1. Then the other is 49,999, right? So what did you do to my number? You took 50,000 minus it, right? As a general rule. So if I say 10,000, then you say, oh yeah, 50,000 minus 10,000, 40,000. Is that right? If I say 25,000, then you would say 50,000 minus 25,000, 25,000. It's 50,000, whatever the first number is. Okay, now my investment equation, 5% of the X, 0.05X, 5%, and 9% of this investment, 0.09, 50,000 minus X, at least means greater than or equal to 7.5% of the total amount, 0.075 times 50,000. So that's my equation. Let me talk for a moment about at least. The English expression at least, it actually means greater than or equal to. You might think less, you might think just less because it's word least. No, it's greater than or equal to. Okay, so suppose I say Mary is at least 20 years old, right? Mary is at least 20. That means 20 or 21, 22, 23, right? Not 19, 18. So that means greater than or equal to if I say at least. And likewise, yeah, if I say at most actually is less than or equal to. Okay. So I look at John. So I look at John. Well, just eyeballing, he's at most 10 years old, right? If I say John is at most 10 years old, that means 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, right? That's what at most means. Okay, so greater than or equal to. So that's the key setup for this. And I just solve it. 0.05x plus, punch that in your machine, 4,500 minus 0.09x, less than or equal to, punch that in your machine, 3,750. Subtract 4,500 on both sides. And let's see, that minus that is negative 0.04x, greater than or equal to that minus that is negative 750. divide by negative 0.04, which is a negative number. And do you recall what happens when you divide by negative? The inequality symbol flips, right? So punch that in your machine. X is less than or equal to 18,750. Okay, so the values of X by which I would get 7.5% return or more is 18,750. So in the words, it says, what is the maximum amount that I can invest? So if X has to be less than or equal to 18,750, right? That means the maximum is 18,750. So that's the answer to that problem, problem 77. Okay, and let me check the chat. Can we do the antifreeze problem? Okay, I'll see if I can get to that. 1.449. Okay. Let's see if I can get to that. Okay, quick rehash on some other problems. 1.741b, it was just a multiplication problem. (1.741b) express the total fish weight as a function of the number of fish in a pond. Okay, it's actually pretty easy. You have the average weight, W, and you multiply it by the total number of fish. Right, so number of fish is N, average weight is W, just multiply N times the W. Okay, so average weight times the number of fish. So just N times 500 minus 0.5N, and that comes to be 500N minus 0.5N squared. Okay. Yeah, there was a quick question about 1.361. Let me go back and rehash that one, but I think we did it before. And she loses focus on me every now and then for some strange reason. 1.361, what time is it? 1.361. Find the area of the region inside the big circle and outside the small circle. X squared plus y squared equals 1, has a radius of 1. X squared plus y squared equals 9 has a radius of 3. So the picture is like this: radius of 3, radius of 1. So the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared, right? So I take the big radius one, pi big R squared minus pi little r squared. The smaller radius is 1. So pi big R squared, pi times 3 squared, minus pi times 1 squared, which is 9 pi minus pi. So the answer comes out to be 8 pi. Okay, and then a quick question about absolute value, and then yes, I'll go back and get other problems. Yeah, go ahead and put stuff in the chat if you wish. Let me finish this up. If you see absolute value equals blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I reason this out. Whatever's behind my pen has to be either 2 or negative 2, right? Again, sometimes I like to cover it up. It just simplifies things. Then I say to myself, okay, if this is 2, it's true. If it's negative 2, it's also true. So there it is. 5x minus 3 is equal to negative 2, or 5x minus 3 equals 2. And you just work them both out. So plus 3, 5x equals 1, x equals 1/5. Add 3, 5x equals 5, x equals 1. So my answers are 1/5 and 1. It looks like. Okay. So that's that. Okay, now let me go back and do, let's see, the antifreeze one. Let's see, where was that? 1.449. That one.
Like, I redid it and I really like mapping out of like what each part of the answer means. Like, that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see, 10 quarts, 10%. Okay, we drain something. So that X equal the amount drained. And you end up with 30%. Okay. All right, so from the start, you have 1 quart of antifreeze, right? 1 quart. Let me just talk about antifreeze for a moment. You got 10 quarts, 10% antifreeze. So you have 1 quart antifreeze, the rest is just H2O, just water, right? I drain the radiator. I don't know how much it is. I'll call it X. You pour it back in the same amount, but it's pure antifreeze. And then pour in X pure antifreeze. So let's think in terms of antifreeze. So I start off with 1 quart. I drain X. Okay, so drain X. So now we have how much antifreeze? I have 10% of whatever is left over. If I drain X, I have left behind 10 minus X quarts. Antifreeze. Okay. Example, suppose I drain 3 quarts. I got 7 quarts left, of which 10% is antifreeze. So after I do the draining, I take out X. How much antifreeze is there? 0.1 times 10 minus X. That's actual antifreeze.
Wait, repeat that last part. I'm sorry. So 0.1 of 10 I get is 1, right?
Correct.
And 0.1 of X is
Well, you can say 0.1 of
like,
X is
that's where I'm a little confused. Like, so I know X is what we drained it at, but 0.1 of X is the amount of the antifreeze at 10% solution, right?
right, and that's how much I'm draining out. I'm losing that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the amount of antifreeze left. Okay, it's 10% of 10 minus X. I took out
But
X. There's 10 minus X left.
what also got me is like when you do that math, it's 1 minus 0.1 X. That's what got me confused. Like I was looking at it and I was like, I don't understand how that could be part of the problem. Like I understand it when it's in parentheses a little bit, but like when I do the math, it just confuses me. And I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm going to distribute in just a second.
Okay.
I'm just going to distribute. That's not that hard. Okay, but this is the amount of antifreeze left. Now I'm going to pour in pure antifreeze, same amount, X. And how much antifreeze do I have left? 3 quarts. Because it's 30% of 10 quarts. Okay, so right here, that's how much antifreeze is there, 10% of what's left. Okay, I drain X, I have 10 minus X. Okay, I drain 1, I got 9 left, right? I drain 2, I have 8 left. I drain 3, I have 7 left. I drain 5, I have 5 left. If I drain X, I have 10 minus X left. I pour it back in that same amount, but it's 100% antifreeze. It's all antifreeze. And I end up with 3 quarts of antifreeze. That's 30% of the 10. Okay, and now I just clean that up. So 0.1 times 10 is 1 minus 0.1 X plus X equals 3. Subtract 1. So that's going to be what? 0.9 equals 2. 0.9X. So X is 2 divided by 0.9, which is 2.2 repeating quarts.
Like I get that. I get how you explained it. It just when I look at the 0.1 multiplied by it, I'm a little confused. Like I get the 0.1 is the concentration, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I look at 1 minus 0.1x though, like it really gets me confused. I'm like, so the 1 is the 1 quart of antifreeze, right?
The 1 is what I get when I multiply 0.1 times 10. I'm just distributing now.
Yeah, I know,
0.1
but
times
like
10 is that. 0.1 times negative x is negative 0.1x.
um I know, just like when I look at it, like I don't really get how that like is the solution to the problem. Like the first line makes sense, but multiplying it by 0.1, like I know it's a 10% solution, but like oh God, I was just hoping you could explain a little bit more in depth about just that one little part, because like so like I get the 10 minus x is like what you're like subtracting from it, but like I don't know, why would you multiply it instead of divide it or something? You know what I mean? I'm
Multiplied by 0.1?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the amount of antifreeze that's left. Okay, and I'm sorry, Bonnie, after a while, I do have to move on to other problems and not get
Okay.
bogged down for the interest of everybody. Otherwise, see me during office hours. But 10% of this is how much antifreeze is left. I'm pouring in pure antifreeze, and then I'm going to be left with 3 quarts total. So that's my setup right there. And then after that, I just do the algebra. Okay. But unfortunately, in the interest of time, I can't spend too much time on this one problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me go back and check others. Okay, 1.341, 1.645 was asked for. Okay, let me see if I have time to do those. $1.341. Let's see, what does it say? X squared minus 4x plus y squared minus 2y minus 4 equals 0. Find the center and radius. I'm intentionally writing it this way. To complete the square. So we complete the square, I need half of negative 4 and squared. That's negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So plus 4 plus 4. Same thing with this. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. I add 1. I add 1. So that gives me x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9. And now I'm good to go. Center is 2, 1. Radius is 3. Yeah. And then 1.645. And sorry, the way it's going now, I have to aim for quantity more than quality in order to get all the questions in. Apologize for that, but when I get it all down, then you can always look at the video later and rewind, fast forward as much as you need to. 1.645. Yeah, I may have to just fly through this one. Okay, so f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. This is easy. The subtracting f of x should not be that bad. It's just the original. The hard part is this. So if I replace x with x plus h, it looks like this. Like that. And I reached the bottom of my paper, so I got to go back up. But instead of dividing by h, I'm going to multiply by 1 over h. I'm dividing by h over 1. Dividing by h over 1 is the same as multiplying by 1 over h. So I'm going to go 1 over h. And then copy this, but leave a gap. Okay, so dividing by h, multiply by 1 over h, and I copy that, and I copy that. And now common denominator, multiply this side by x minus 3 over x minus 3. multiply this side by x plus h minus 3 over x plus h minus 3. Get that back in focus. Okay, so I have my common denominator, x plus h minus 3 times x minus 3. And FOIL that out. Let's see, x squared minus 3x plus hx minus 3h. And then distribute this, it'd be minus x squared minus xh plus 3x. If I did that right, let's see, x squared minus 3x plus hx minus 3h minus x squared minus xh plus 3x. Okay, and let's see, gone, 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 gone. So the only thing left is negative 3h, and that h can cancel that h way over there. Do that one in red. That can't, whoops, sorry, h cancels out. So I just have a negative 3 on top. X plus h minus 3. X minus 3. Now h approaches 0, which basically means plug in 0 there. You have x minus 3 times another x minus 3. So you have negative 3 over x minus 3 quantity squared. Okay, so that's it for that one. Sure. 645. 1.841, 1.841, 1.841. Let me see if I caught up in the chat. I think I caught up. What time is it? Almost out of time. 1.841. This thing, express the area of the rectangle as a function of x. And this is 4 minus x squared. So the area is length times width. This is x, this is another x, so it's 2x times the height, which is 4 minus x squared. So what is that? 8x minus 2x cubed.
Why do we know that like that length of the y of the rectangle equals 4 minus x squared? I mean, like I know that's the equation, but like
okay. So if you look here, it's a point on a parabola, right?
Yeah.
So the distance from here to here is what's considered y. Think back to the first time you learned the XY coordinate system. If I take any point, well, this distance is x, this distance is y, correct? So the height is y, but for this parabola, what is y? Well, it's equal to 4 minus x squared. So that's what allows me to sneak in 4 minus x squared in place of y. So this is x, this is another x. So 2x times 4 minus x squared. Okay. So that's that one. Frog in my throat. Okay, these are quick questions. We have only a few minutes left. And if not, I'm going to go back and complete that 59 one. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat. Okay, so let me finish this one, 59 back here. Number 9, so let me zoom through that. Sorry if I'm going fast, but I want to get through this, so that's why I'm aiming for quantity more than quality here. 100 miles an hour, but you can hopefully look back at the video. If I went too slow, I wouldn't be able to get all the problems. Okay, so how do I finish this? So we said our boundary numbers are 7, -2, and 1, right? 7 makes the top 0, -2 and 1 make the bottom 0. Get this thing in focus here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, and -2. And if I plug in 7, I get 0 on top divided by whatever is 0. That'll be true. However, both of these are open because if I plug in -2, I get a 0 in the bottom, mathematical no-no. If I plug in 1, I get a 0 in the bottom, mathematical no-no. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so region 1, -3, region 2, 0, region 3, 2, region 4, 8. Fraction bar, fraction bar, fraction bar, fraction bar. Okay, -3. 2 minus a -3 is positive. -3 plus 2, negative. -3 minus 1, negative. Positive divided by negative times a negative is a positive. Is a positive greater than or equal to 0? Yes, that's true. So region 1. Whoops. Get back in focus. 0. 7 minus 0, positive. 0 plus 2, positive. 0 minus 1, negative. So positive, positive, negative. One negative makes it a negative. Negative greater than or equal to 0, false. Do not shade in region 2. Region 3, 2. 7 minus 2, positive. 2 plus 2, positive. 2 minus 1, positive. So they're all positive. So the result is positive. Positive greater than or equal to 0, that's true. And then region 4, 8. 7 minus 8, negative. 7 plus 2, positive. 7 minus 1, positive. So 1 negative and 2 positives makes a negative. Negative greater than or equal to 0. No, that's false. Do not shade that region in. So regions 1 and 3. So I'm going to have what? -infinity, comma, 0 parenthesis, union parenthesis. Where was this? 1, 1 comma 7 bracket. And that's that. Okay, and it's just about 10 o'clock now, folks. So I don't think I have time for any other questions unless it's real fast. Yes,
Could you
something real
just
quick.
flash? Oh, could you just flash your answer to 45? I just want to make sure that I have the right answer.
Okay.
The answer you just did for 45 on I think it was 1/6.
Okay. Let's see, get that there. Let's see, where was I? There's 45. Okay, so get that here.
Perfect. Oh wait, yeah, thank you. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll flash this real quickly again. And yeah, you can always watch the video, so I don't say I'm going
Oh
too
yeah, I'm gonna
fast.
meet
You
you.
can
I'm
always,
gonna meet you in your office hours to talk to you. So thank you.
all right, you're welcome. There's that, and there's that, and there's that. Okay, anything else quickly, please? All right, so that'll good. You may start submitting your homework now, if you don't mind. Get your formula sheet ready. And everybody, you must join the Zoom call tomorrow with your cameras on. I'll be taking attendance in preparation for the test, okay? All right, that'll do it for today, everyone. So we'll see you if you're ready for the test tomorrow and see you then. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.